Wrestle Cage experience come to you right here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and every other website known to man. Going to do a Q&A video here real quick. Going to try to get through this. We got about 8 questions to get through. Probably going to be a 2-3 part. This is my buddy Jeremy. Told you I was going to have a special guest, and he's a wrestling fan as well. And him and I have had some great discussions on wrestling. Even talked about some storyline possibilities that we'd like to see happen.
And it may get heated because we come from very different pools.
We do. He's a John Cena fan.
But I'm tired of him in the main event. I'm starting to join in with you old schoolers.
He is, and I've come close to putting him in a figure 4 leg lock a couple times for his love for John Cena, but that's all right. Anyway, going to get right back on track. Q&A is the situation we got here. Got 8 questions, and we're going to jump right into the first one. Do you or have you ever liked the McMahons as on-screen characters?
I like them. I think they add to the storylines. I think that the storylines with them are more powerful, more entertaining, and just the dynamic of the owner being on TV gives you a new flavor. You know, his feud, you have Vince's feud with Steve Austin, which we talked about as, in your opinion, one of the best of all time. I think everybody could probably agree on that one. You have the DX versus Shane and Vince. You have this storyline that's still going on with Triple H and Randy Orton, which was new and great for the first 4.5 months and then started to sour, but it was good when it was. Mm-hmm. And notice the McMahons disappeared as it started to sour, so let's keep that in mind. And actually one thing, and I hadn't brought this up when we were talking about it before, I gained a lot of respect for Vince McMahon when Chris Benoit died, and at the beginning of the show, before they knew what really happened, he said, tonight we're going to explore the death of my character, but instead we're going to change over and focus on a real tragedy. And that gave me respect for him, where he could even put his character on hold for the better use of his airtime.
Definitely. And as you said, Vince is probably the stronger of the McMahon characters online, on TV. Honestly, Vince... he brings something that Shane and Stephanie, and definitely not Linda, don't bring to the TV, and that's a good character. Now, yes, there have been times where Shane and Steph have been on there. Stephanie McMahon was the general manager of SmackDown at one point, and of course Shane McMahon had the Alliance going for
the corporate ministry.
In the corporate ministry.
Which were quality feuds.
Those were quality feuds and quality storylines with the McMahons in them, but overall Vince is more of the driving force, I guess so to say, of the McMahons on TV. So
I'll agree with you.
Thank you, Bobby or Callum, or both, for that question coming from you guys. The next one comes from BHB Kid, and he wants to know thoughts on Kofi Kingston and if he's going to be in a main event quality feud. And honestly, I think he's going to suffer the same fate as Shelton Benjamin. Shelton's a great talent. He's got some okay mic skills, enough to get him over with the crowd and whatnot.
As a heel or a face.
He's underutilized.
He is.
He's underutilized, and I think that's what you get out of a lot of these younger guys that they've got.
The mid-carders.
The mid-carders, is they're underutilized.
And there are several who could be main eventers if given the chance.
Definitely.
Not yet, because he's still young, but Dolph Ziggler could be there eventually.
Yeah.
John Morrison, definitely.
I think he's ready.
Evan Bourne needs probably some mic training. Haven't heard him on the mic, but he's a good enough showman in the ring. Now, I can't stand him, but Miz may be there one day.
Work in progress, folks.
Randy Orton is still young enough that I'm okay with him,
yeah.
And I think they're using him perfectly. And then there was one, MVP. If you throw MVP, he's got the mic skills. They're not, he's no Rock, but he's got good mic skills, and he's a great showman, a great wrestler. Give him a chance. Put him in the main event. Kofi, not quite the right style of wrestling either for the main event. If you look back, HBK was a high flyer, but when he became a main eventer, he became more grounded. Now, he still had his flying elbow, and he still had his moonsault, and he still had all these great flying moves he did, but he was a brunt wrestler. He just beat you to death was what he did when he came to the main event. And I think Kofi will have to do that if he wants any chance of making the main event.
Definitely. Kofi, I never see him as a main event spot. I really don't.
But he's doing good in the role he's
He
in.
may get main event on ECW.
Yeah.
That's about it. So,
which is mid-card on either of the other shows.
Yeah, definitely. So, BHB Kid, thank you for that question. Ireland's the best. Hopefully he doesn't look like Sheamus because that would blind me.
Man, guy needs a tan. He's talked to Triple H about that.
He does.
Anyway.
Ireland's the best. His question was, do you think any of the current mid-carders in the WWE has potential to make as much money for the company as, say, John Cena? Jeremy, what do you think?
Yes, again, if they're used right. Same guys I said on the last one. MVP, if used right, could make that kind of money. He's got the mic skills. He's got the wrestling skills. He's a better wrestler than John Cena. And that comes from I am a diehard John Cena fan. I love John Cena. He's not the greatest wrestler, but he puts on a good show. MVP, better wrestler. Randy Orton, with the Legacy, I went to a live show a couple months ago, and there were just as many Legacy shirts as there were Cena shirts. So Randy Orton can make that kind of money. Edge has been making that kind of money for a long time. Everybody likes him. Jericho's been making money for a long time. Mid-carders, though,
John Morrison could.
John Morrison could. Miz could. Again, I don't like him, but if used right, and so far he's being used right, putting him against John Cena helped push him to superstardom, or pushed him towards superstardom. Even losing, people have now seen him. He's been somewhere. I think he even had at the Bash a higher event or a higher place than one of the main event matches, if I remember correctly.
So.
I think they were the second to last match, which came after the.
Was it the World WWE title?
It was after the WWE title, I believe. It was the second to last match in the Bash, which is a main event position.
Mm-hmm.
So Miz has been there, and he's great on the mic.
Even
mediocre in the ring, but great on the mic. Ted Jr., if he breaks out, Batista and Randy Orton were just like DiBiase is, and now both of them are, everybody likes them, buys their merchandise, likes to see them. Yep. DiBiase could be there if given the opportunity, and I've heard his work ethic is top notch.
Yeah, I really think the main people that you mentioned are the ones that could probably do that for WWE as far as making them the money.
If used properly.
If used properly, that's the main thing. They gotta be used right. And WWE's history that here within the past few years, they've made a few newer stars, but nothing too big.
John Cena is the first guy that's been like that since Steve Austin and The Rock. And I'm not suggesting that John Cena is Stone Cold or The Rock, but he's the closest thing to them that WWE has had since those two retired.
It's this generation's version of The Rock and Stone Cold, or even Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and he's making the money the way
he's
they did. He's
money.
Just not. Even as a Cena fan, I will admit he is no Rock. He is definitely not a Stone Cold, and he is not a Hogan.
Definitely. So we're going to go into part 2 of this Q&A. Want to stop the video right here, so go ahead and switch over, and we'll give you the time to do that now.